Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be talking about one of the worst offensive failure of the JNIM in 2026. The year is, the year is going ahead, but it looks like the party is just getting started because the Malian Armed Forces successfully knocked out over 50. Local sources are claiming it's over 60, but Malian official sources said it's 50 plus. So the question is, why is it that nobody could ascertain the real number? The reason why we can't get a precise battle damage assessment right now from the counteroffensive that deterred the JNIM offensive and that made sure that the JNIM walked right into a kill box that was carefully prepared by the Malian Armed Forces was because this was a combined maneuver of both area vector and the ground forces. Now, this operation took place in the Menaka region of Mali, and this happened specifically on the outskirts of Andaraboukane. I've always talked about Andaraboukane being a very, very tough region, okay? The Malians have been able to establish a significant presence in this location. They have a very huge military base. And it's not just having a military base, having personnel, having your GPMGs and your AAs. The Malians were able to establish a significant amount of reconnaissance presence in this location. General Assimi Goita has not only spent on drones. Are you aware that he equally spent on blimps? According to information, because I was doing my research on the blimps, these are devices that work with the GPS or GLONASS system that enables, troops to maintain constant surveillance for about 2,000 kilometers around that location. Okay. Thank you very much. The report right now is that the network in my location is extra. Are we back? Families, are we back? Because there was a notification that the network was bad. Okay, so I wanted to ensure that I had the right connection established. So the Malian Armed Forces allowed the jihadists to come in because, according to information, the Malian Armed Forces had eyes on this group of combined JNIM and the parts of Mali whose citizen they call the Imgao. Okay, they call them the Ingdao. So these guys mix themselves together and they form a TAG tag team to attack the Malian position. Because the Malian had advanced intelligence and they had advanced surveillance, they knew they were coming. Now, this number we're talking about was over 300. Now, the question is, why do these guys launch offensive attacks with these numbers? They know conventionally that they don't stand a chance against a more formidable, Malian military. So what they do is they try to double the number of personnel capability within that space. Unfortunately, the Malians already called for a backup deployment of the area vectors that were already en route from Kidal to Menaka. So according to the information, before the vectors got to the line of contact where it all mattered, the jihadists already established contact with the Malian armed forces. Unfortunately, for most of these jihadists, they were carrying GPMGs. Unfortunately. So when you look at the ammunition, when you look at the weapon capabilities, I really don't think there was a significant difference, like in the rifle capabilities. But what I think is the Malian Armed Forces were in a defensive position. And if you are using a GPMG from a defensive position, then you are able to establish more lethality. And that was what happened in this battle. They established contact first, but because the Malians were in defensive position, and not only were the Malians in defensive position engaging, there were Malians, Malian military that soldiers that were standing behind those sandbags. They were establishing contact from the sandbags with their bipod and tripod mounted on those sandbags, right? As they were engaging the JNI that were just scattered and scrambling around the whole place. So now there were some personnel behind the guys that were mounting those heavy guns and they were, engaging. What were those guys standing behind doing? They were reloading. They made sure that there was a sustained fire. There was no point where, okay, you have to change mag or whatever. They were using sling bullets because that's the best thing you can use from a defensive position. So, and they had a support fire group. So this is like the Malians doing a complete job here. So just in case anybody wants to reload or whatever, the support fire group, they keep the fire going. So I don't know. This is a completely different Malian military here. This is a completely different one. So they made sure, right, that they established enough contacts such a way that, according to information, the toll was already massive on the JNIM side before the vectors came in. And when the vectors came in and they dropped those precision guided, TNTs, the game changed completely. According to information, immediately the first TNT dropped, the enemies were deterred completely. And I don't think anybody should be surprised why they had to run for their life, because you're already getting the work from a formidable Malian military that were engaging you from the ground. They would not be deterred. They will not turn away from you. And immediately you have another group from the air dropping TNTs. According to information, 2 TNT strikes was used to target the retreating jihadists on the line of contact, which changed the calculus completely. And that was where the casualty piled up beyond recognition. So some of them that were far behind enemy lines, the cameramen and everything, they mounted their motorcycle and they disengaged. Unfortunately, the Malians continued their area strike. Now, the thing is, a Baraktar Akinci offensive ISR capable drone carries about 6 TNTs. So if it drops 1, if it drops 2, there are still 4 extra. But in this particular operation, what was not stated clearly was the number of offensive ISR capable vectors that were sent to the line of contact. According to information, 2 officers from the Malian Armed Forces sustained bullet wounds. And that was all she wrote. Like, they are currently being cared for in Kidal. Okay? But the rest, those guys, nothing happened. And 50 plus, local sources are saying 60 plus. It's all right. So now, after that happened, then the next operation that we want to talk about is the military maneuver by the Burkinabe Armed Forces that happened in the east of Goulmou in Burkina Faso. The east of Goulmou, this operation happened on the outskirts of the eastern Goulmou region in an offensive maneuver. This was an offensive. For the Malians, it was a counter-offensive because the JNIM launched an attack on the Malian post in Menaka. Now, the problem with that first operation is that you have different type of Malian personnel in that Menaka base. Like it's an unbreakable base. You have the previously known as Gatia militia that are now part of the Malian Armed Forces, you know, but you will still know with their normal traditional air ties and the Malian Armed Forces together with them. They actually, when you meet those guys, like they are not scared of putting those knots through anything. Now, in Goulmou, according to information, this was a combined maneuver by both the VDP and the Rapid Intervention Brigade. In this operation, according to casualty reports, the Burkinabes were able to pile about 40 plus KIA casualty on the side of the enemies. According to information, this was a major offensive maneuver. Before this offensive mission happened, the Burkinabe Armed Forces already carried out a 2 weeks reconnaissance operation just to make sure that they had good intelligence on the number of personnel of the TAGs that were present in that base. It was a base destruction. And when you look at the armors they captured, the rifles they captured, the beddings, the drugs, they captured a lot of things. It was a successful operation. According to information, there was no casualty on the friendly side, but 40 plus on the enemy side, because no matter how well supplied you are by whichever force, no matter how well remunerated you are, no matter the number of personnel you have, once you've been studied for even 1 week and you don't know that they are studying you, you don't know that people are watching you because there are no personnel on the ground. These are stealth drones that are used to maintain contact at all time. The numbers were known, the Burkinabes moved in and it was a very clean clear out operation. According to the information that happened after, the commander of the Rapid Intervention Brigade that led this Burkinabe FDS to the line of contact gave a lot of credit, did not even take the credit as a commander. He gave a lot of credit to the guys on the ground that made sure, right, that they were able to clean out the whole base. According to the information, the speed through which the operation was carried out was very, very quick. And the reason why operations of this magnitude go smoothly and very quick is because they already have details. I mean, critical detail. We've seen the lenses of these drone capabilities that the Alliance of Sahel State deploy. They are very clear. You can actually access, you can make assessment of the capabilities that your enemies are deploying. Definitely, you know the numbers. You know if they had non-combat personnel on ground. So when you hear most times that the Alliance of Sahel State Intelligence Agency claim that there are foreign presence in certain military base between the region of Mali, of Western Mali and Mauritania, just understand that there is a possibility that they already have a clear assessment of what is going on the ground. Okay? So, man, UAE cannot supply, UAE cannot even supply UAE right now. So that is that with the Burkinabe offensive maneuver in the eastern part of Goulmou. So if you look at on both sides, we are having closely, if we had the plus to it, we are having about 100, okay? Because 50 plus for the Malians, 40 plus for the Burkinabes. So if we find a rough average, that would be about probably 98 to 100 enemy KIA in a day. That's killed in action. They are not coming back. So one thing I do know that I always double down on is if you can take out 100 personnel on the line of contact, there is a high chance that there is another 20 to 30 that sustained heavy bullet wounds on the line of contact, which are not going to be redeployed anytime soon. Unfortunately, most of these personnel that are always being taken out on the TAG side, they are their most experienced combatants. I was studying their doctrine and I discovered that their most, formidable men, they are the ones that stand in the front. Okay. And from my research, their combat age is between the age of 14 and above. Their most active age is from the age of 14, according to the information, is from the age of 14 to about 29. So, based on the information they gave, that men in their 35, 40s in these TAG groups, their job is more of clerical. They are the ones that preach the Islamic radical extremists preachings. They are the ones that do the, what do they call it in Christianity, evangelism, so that they can recruit more fighters. But unfortunately, most of their most active guys are getting cleaned out. So this only means that on the long term, this is Africa, and there are a lot of leaders in Africa that are ready to, just the way you have leaders that are ready to support the people that don't want Africa to improve, you also have some of these elements that are ready to support the intentions, and probably they are ready to support the aspirations of the people that want Africa to remain on the same state while they continue to grow off the back of Africa, because that's why you even have this in the first place. So what I'm trying to establish on the long term in my country especially is to establish a position where we might be different. We might speak different language. Yes, we might speak different language, and I should understand and respect the fact that we are not from the same ethnic group or whatever they want to call it. But the patriotism to one country that binds us all together should be impregnable. That is it. The Akhmat people of Russia, they call it Russian Federation for a reason. There are Muslims in Russia. When you go to Grozny, you go to, that part of Russia, you have a lot of Muslims. But majority of Russia is Orthodox Christian. But when it comes to defense of the homeland, it's not Akhmat, it's Russian Federation. So I think this is the mentality Africans should have. No matter where you're from, when it comes to the nation, it should be non-negotiable. At this point, we should take our nationality to a whole nother level. A lot of people don't understand what homeland means. It means that is the only place where you can call your own. That's where you belong. That's where you're from. You don't understand. It's not just about the mineral wealth. It's about, that is the ground you step on every day with freedom. That is the ground you are stomping your foot on every day with freedom, with much confidence, without anybody judging you based on your complexion or whatsoever, or how you speak or whatsoever. You put your feet on the ground every day, walking with your head high, with that pride that this is where I'm from. That land protects you. That land defends your dignity. So it is only very, very imperative that we show our love for this land. Don't forget, whatever we are stomping on, that we walk on every day, These are the cemetery of our ancestors. So when people betray their homeland, it's beyond, it's treason. It's not just espionage. It's an unforgivable offense because your homeland means a lot. Nevertheless, I'm Nigeria by birth, but Burkinabe by character. I know you, I hope you understand what that means. Now let's move forward. Now we have a situation in Guinea, Guinea Conakry, where the Guinean armed forces have taken a port village. This village is called Konadu in Liberia. Yeah, the Guinean armed forces just infiltrated Liberia once again after the peace talk. The name of the village is called Konadu and is a port village. According to information, this is a village that turns in revenue for the Liberian government. And now the military of Guinea, after taking and displacing the locals in that region, they claimed to be acting in accordance with the order from the Guinean government. It's not a time to criticize Guinea. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to criticize Guinea. What I'm going to say is this. I've once criticized Guinea, but I'm not doing that again. Whatever they're doing to Liberia, they equally do to Sierra Leone. And who is the president of Sierra Leone? Julius Maada. What I would say is this. This is Guinea showing the true capabilities of our African brothers. That is it. You see, African politicians, they only know how to cry. They only know how to talk. They only know how to shout and say things like it's against international law and everything, you know. Nobody cares about international law anymore. If people care about international law, some people would have been held accountable for what they are doing. But we know that international law only, it only works with some people and it doesn't work with some people. There are some people that are immune to international law. The French judge that actually called for the prosecution of the Israeli prime minister, you know what happened to him? He was debanked. He cannot even do anything with his financial tools anymore. They literally rendered him useless. So when you talk about accountability on the frame of international law, there are levels to it. Now, what do I think? I won't blame the Guineans. It's about interests, no hard feelings. What I'm going to say is this. I blame the government of Liberia and Sierra Leone to have not equipped their military with the necessary capability to defend their homeland. That is what I say. If I'm the president of a country, there is no African country, I say it with all temerity, even a coalition. I don't care where I don't care where that country is in Africa. I'm the president of that country. You will not step an inch. There will be no warning. There will be no bilateral talk. There will be no. You will not have a chance. Because me, I don't preach. I don't preach talks. I don't preach. The only thing I understand is overwhelming superiority, dominance, because that's what I've discovered in Africa. They are our brothers. They are this. I believe that we make a lot of mistakes sometimes. I don't understand. I'm different. I don't understand. Let's have what diplomatic conversation. You don't know that that's not your territory. It's only overwhelming. And before you can negotiate from that position, you have to have equipped your military with all necessary capability, both the ones that meet the standard of international law and the ones that even evade the standard of international law. Only superiority, that's the unconditional surrender. That's the only, you penetrate my territory, we are coming to your capital. It's not negotiable. We are coming to your capital. You see, I look at African president. They are the only thing they are interested in is stealing money. And I can guarantee you, none of these two presidents, both Sierra Leonean president and Liberia president, none of them can come out and stand on their 10 toes that they've not been looting public funds. And this is what brings you to this situation where another country displays your citizen. No military presence, nothing. You remember when the Ivorian forces entered Burkina Faso, you saw what happened. There was no conversation. Only show of superiority when those Burkinabe armed forces, when they moved in, even the flies, they disengaged. That is the only thing. We can be brothers from the distance, like, oh, my brother, like, maybe there is something, a natural disaster, economic, yeah. But when it comes to territorial sovereignty, it's not negotiable. It's a look. You don't ask for respect. You have to command respect. It's mindset. I'm a president. I'm not traveling to any foreign country. I am not. That is outside the continent of Africa. I am not. If you, whatever president you are, if you want to see me, come to my country. I am not. You will come. I look at my president gallivanting all around the place, traveling. You don't command respect like that. If you cannot come to, I will tell you that my country is the greatest country on the planet, and you have to come, regardless of who you are. I won't even send the vice president. I will send the foreign minister. That will be the guy that people will speak to the most. A lot of people don't understand what some position means. You see them here, to the point where deals are now being made on phone, over the phone. And a lot of people can talk. Talk is cheap. I hear people saying, oh, the country has been bought out. These deals have been signed. That deal have been signed. I become a president. I cancel all the deals. I nationalize everything. So let the worst that want to come, let it come. Let's see. It's a good place to start a show. That's not what they want to hear. It's a good place to start a show. I am not the type that wants to buy assets. I don't have assets. Look, if you look at my lifestyle, I'm not the type that like to keep. I don't ask for money. I'm not asking for asset. I have no dream to travel to any other person's country, outside Africa. So you want to put a sanction because I made a decision that I want to nationalize whatever you have within my country, and I want to stop you. Whatever deal you've signed is your business. It's citizens first. So whatever, I know it's not going to be easy. I know it's going to come with a cool plot. I know it's going to, like, instantly I am revising all the bilateral agreement that you have, most especially with the people that we've had it since and nothing is changing. I want change. And this whole rehabilitation talk of these armed groups, there's nothing like rehabilitation. The negotiation ends. Don't surrender, leave. Man, I look at a lot of leaders. I look at the things they say. You are calling on France. I don't need to call on France. You give all the necessary capabilities to the military and you tell them, go all out. I want to see domination. See, look, there's nothing like unconventional. See, let me tell you this. There's nothing like asymmetric in your homeland. There is nothing like it. If you are going to invade another person's homeland, then asymmetric can work. But in your homeland, there's nothing like asymmetry. I promise you, it's only political. There is nothing like asymmetric warfare. Oh, this is Boko Haram, this is Lakurawa. In your homeland, it means that there is a compromise. So Nigeria has not gotten to the point where they have a leader that can make these critical decisions. Everybody wants to be political. Look at how much they call the presidential ticket. I think they said 15 billion, right? So you already have everything built up to fail. See, look, there are some things that come with brute force. It's not negotiable. It comes with brute force. People who are lying. I hear that locals in some places, they give information to the, you know, these armed groups that troops are coming. At the end of the day, I saw a picture. If you go to English Allergies channel, you will see those Nigerian soldiers that were eliminated in Kebbi State. Because the locals in that community gave, man, I'm a president, you won't do it. Honestly, I promise you, you won't do it. I would tell them that I trust them, that they will not do it. You harming Nigerian troops is like, for me, I would consider it as you being equally the same people we are going after. And if you do it, and I promise the world, the Nigerian people, that you won't do it, and you end up doing it, there will be no negotiation. The only negotiation is rain from the sky. So when you hear all this conversation about, don't speak too much English. The only language those people understand is force. So for Liberia, I would say one thing very, very easily. The only reason the Guinean military has become so emboldened, why are they not crossing into the Malian territory? Why are they not crossing into the Malian territory? Game recognized game. They won't do it. Why are they not trying to go into, Algeria, or, they won't do it. They understand. I don't know what the strategic goal of Guinea is, but this is just Guinea exposing the flaws of these countries. Julius Maada Bio has been invited to how many security conference where he talks. You think it's, when you hear General Julius Maada Bio, you think, oh, this is something special. But at the end of the day, you discover that there's nothing. There is absolutely nothing. I wonder how some people got the title general. I wonder. Another country invaded your country, and all hell did not break loose. It's so unfortunate. So now, according to Guinea, the territory now belongs to Guinea. A Liberian territory now belongs to Guinea, with the locals displaced. This is 2026, for God's sake. I thought 2026 was going to be peaceful, but it seems a lot of people don't like peace anymore. Well, it's their business. So now, Benin Republic is the guy. Look, the Benin, all right, they are the ones, okay, with the spotlights right now. The shadows of Benin Republic have now been unveiled. According to information, only the Beninese representative did not vote against the resolution made by the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, for reparation for colonial era damage. Okay? 3 countries that did not vote against it: France, Germany, the United Kingdom. Benin Republic was one of them. They mentioned several other states. I think they said the United States of America did not vote, in support of that motion. But still, the motion prevailed. Look, when you see a president that supports prosperity, now, there is no way that the Benin representative would have not voted unless he has been given orders. Hey, don't move. This only means something. That Benin is fully under the control of their colonial master. That is it. It's point blank period, case closed. Benin Republic is still a colony. A complete, this is what you call the true definition of a colony. The president of Benin cannot take a single decision when Elysee have not given the order. So Patrice Talon is still, that favorite colonial stooge that only, verifies whatever, have been approved from France. So when you hear this Prospera Africa, you hear all those things. Look, these agreements are not the agreements of Patrice Talon. These deals are not the deals of Patrice Talon. Patrice Talon is only a representative of Macron in Benin. All right? Patrice Talon is a representative of Macron in Benin. So if Macron says, stand up, I don't believe that Patrice Talon will spend another milliseconds on any type of city. The reason why an African country and Benin Republic suffered a lot from the colonial oppression and aggression, but you can see the representative of Benin today, and you can see Benin Republic today, because a lot of people can say, oh, we have good people in Benin and all like that, all of that. That is what everyone says. But what I would say is this: these are your representatives. These are the people that represent. Okay, these are the people that represent you, and these are the decisions they're taking. And because of this decision, it justifies how the world will see you. So when you appear on the international stage and you say, oh, I'm a Beninois, so how do people look at you? How do they look at you? The interests of other African countries is my own interests. Man, when I look at the Nigerian president, like when I look at the presidents we have, I want to say something about Nigerian completely. I think there is this mentality in Nigeria that it's only people that are in their 80s and 70s that can go for presidential election. That mentality needs to change. We need 30s. We need 40s. In fact, we need more 30s. Mid 30 to late 30 to compete for presidential election. I will gladly vote. And we need people with a ruthless mindset. We don't want people, we don't want, compromised individuals. So I mean, people that can make people that can make strategic decisions and stand by it. Let me just tell you, if I become Nigerian president, all the bases is closed with immediate effect. You can't open a military base in my country and I'm the president. Like, I don't feel like a president. You will all leave. I'll give everybody 2 weeks. I will give everybody 2 weeks. You have to go. Like, it will be an obvious declaration of change. It will not be negotiable. Like, whatever wants to happen, I won't mind. Whatever wants to happen, but for the years I will be in power, trust me, it will not be business as usual. You can, I will let you know, you can renew the deal once I'm out of power. It's democracy, that's what you call it. Okay, but for that time I will be in power, I can promise you on everything, terrorism will end. Yeah, there might be little compromise here and there, but terrorism will end. You make peace deal as a governor, they take your immunity, my men move in, they get you. You are a governor, like a sitting governor. They are going to get you. And it's not going to be any covert attempts. I'm making known on national TV. We are going to get the state governor. I'm declaring a state of emergency. I'm taking you. We are sending in an internal administrator. I'm retiring all the old military generals in Nigeria. I will retire all of them. Some of them will be dishonorably removed from the service because of what corrupt. Like, some of these people are so corrupt, and it's not even a lie. Don't put youths there. Go out there and batter any enemy to batter them to stone age. And all this A29 that we're using, countries like Nigeria using Super Tucano A29. At this point, no, I'm changing that deal. We need some, at least for Nigeria, we need minimum of Russian Su-35. And I don't, if all we have is 36 states, I need minimum of 100 drones. Minimum. I'm talking about ISR capable attack drones. 100. I will tell everybody to leave. I don't want a situation where you come through some alternative media and say that your locals or your citizens were kidnapped in my country and we should allow you to come out. No, everybody should leave. We want to take care of the country. Like, we want to clean the country first. All NGOs will be closed instantly. So this Nigeria has resources. Nigeria has resources. Let's even see when the Chinese, everybody will leave first. Then you can come back and there will be a board. Like, I'm going to choose some extremely ruthless people, like the Yesufus of the world, the Rinu Oduala, the most critical people. Those are the people that you discuss with, and it will be open. All Nigerians will be, look, whatever bilateral community, there will be no. See, Nigeria will be an open book instantly. You are a religious cleric, you preach extremists, they are picking you up. It's prison term. It's direct prison term. You are preaching, extreme preachings. You are going to prison. It will be a no nonsense. It will be a no nonsense time. I know it will be tough. Yes, it will be tough. People don't like things like that. People don't like those type of change. But I can promise you, in less than 3 years, Nigeria is already at a point where, the finishing touches are going to be there. We are going to make the country safe. At least my top priority will be the military. Crush anything. Like, man, we see terrorists having peace talks with government officials. Peace talks right there. Everything should be leveled. Both the officials that are there with the groups and everything. Level everything. I only want to see smokes rising from that place. I know they are having peace talk. Go and level everything there. Even people that go there to spectate the peace talk, I don't want to see anything standing right there. So I look at all this negotiation, all this, what happens after every negotiation? The bandits become emboldened. They kidnap citizen. You kidnap a Nigerian. You kidnap a Nigerian inside Nigeria. You see, when I look at all these things, I just laugh. And for all these things I'm saying to work, you have to get rid of some bilateral, relationship that Nigeria has. I know people will be I know some deep states will have like their searchlight and everything will be on me, but it won't matter. It will not matter at all. It will not matter. I don't care. And everything, look, all this alternative media in Nigeria, all this media that are, that are sent into Nigeria to go and manufacture dissent and all that, it will be the end. I know that Nigerians are capable. I know they are skillful. When I look at Nigerians, I see capabilities. I woke up this morning, I was going to purchase some things, and I was looking at Nigerians and I was smiling that these people some of them don't even know how capable they are. They don't know how blessed I feel to be in their midst. They are smart, but yet they've been so manipulated to the point that they are not even aware of their own true capabilities. But for this to happen, it will not happen on the seat of smile, negotiation, no, it will not happen like that. That's why I love what the Nigerians are doing. So it's all like me come to power. Just know that Nigeria is already in bilateral relationship with Niger. It is only imperative for us to have that security communication. And I will tell your citizen, if any citizen of any country enters Nigeria and is a terrorist, it's gone. Like there will be no negotiation, there will be no talk. We are not rehabilitating. The population is already over 300 million of Nigerians. 300 million people in Nigeria. And you think the money I am supposed to use to build, look, there's this thing called Amajiri in Nigeria. I will create an Amajiri resident, build houses, take them from their parents, get them to vocational study, to learn manufacturing, possibly of drones. Those Amajiri kids can do a lot for me. Yes, as a leader. Those Amajiri kids, take all of them. Put them in vocational school. They don't have to go to normal conventional university. Let them learn skills. Even if it's drone manufacturing, putting the pieces together. Let the government be in charge. How much do you want to, what do you want to spend? It will look like a boarding school. At least they're kids. Both the male and female. Let them serve this country. I know I can get about 7 million of them. It will be so beautiful. Do you know the manufacturing strength? Let's say a drone industry, 7 million. That's cheap labor. Everybody talk about cheap labor in India and all of that. You have it in Nigeria, but the whole system has been, manipulated to feel as if the population is a problem. No, it's not a problem. The only part of that population I don't need and I will get rid of is terrorists. Yeah, I will not stop at nothing. It will be constant battery, day and night. You use the infrared heat sensor at night. There will be shifts. There will be shifts. If we have to spend a serious amount of the allocation, and all the refineries, they will be opened again. All the ports will be open. This idea that if you spend and you boost the economic capability of this region, they might succeed, is not going to work. These are lies by some group of people. Nigeria is powerful. Nigeria is a good country. And all this talk of if you break ties with this one, no. From the get-go, everybody will know that this guy is not coming in to serve our interests. I'll let them know. I'm not coming to serve your interests. I am the president of the Nigerian people. I'm not supposed to be in UK. I'm not supposed to be in Canada. I'm not supposed to be in the United. I'm not supposed to be anywhere else than Nigeria. But you have our president gallivanting all over the place, going to Turkey to go and seek for help. What type of help are you seeking for? These are terrible people. And I look at our military sometimes. They are brave. That's the only thing I can say. They are brave. And they have some local smartness. But there are lots more things. Like, this guy are being deployed. There are no birds on Overwatch. And Nigeria have the financial capability. That's why I said, even for the military to function, you have to remove all the generals. All the repentant Boko Haram in the military, pull them out. We don't need them. We don't need them there. We need patriotic and clean Nigerians to protect Nigeria. And every Nigerian deserves to be protected. Every Nigerian, within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. So when I look at the situation of Nigeria and I hear people saying terrorism, oh, this is happening, that is happening, I don't believe. I tell you, I don't believe. Don't worry. There are things that I might not know, but I don't care. I don't believe that there is something that is not possible. The worst that can happen, they send the deep state to go after you. They launch a coup d'etat. But I can tell you, I'm not a sheep. I am not that lamb. I'm not a lamb. Android is different. Very, very different. It will take time, but Nigerians will catch up. I'm telling you. And I think Nigerians who like a leader with that character that bows to nobody from outside. Only the interest of Nigeria will matter. You hear Dangote refinery, but yet you have a lot of national refinery that are there, moribund, not doing anything. Oh, Nigeria will change. Whatever they've done to the Nigerian oil, you see all these deals that people have signed. If I become the president, those deals are gone. The only sacrifice will be to empower the military to an unbelievable level. And I look at Nigeria. You are calling other countries to come and cooperate with you on military. Nigeria have the capability, both economic capability and military capability in terms of population and numbers to mash up any threat. Nigeria should be sending, troops to go and help out their neighbors. Go and help out your neighbors. We don't even need to we don't even need to petition all those military leaders. If you have a good president, you sack. See, look, there is a way to reform the Nigerian military. All those military leaders from 40, you clean them out. We need fresh legs in the Nigerian military. You clean them out. If you've ever been, you've ever been called, maybe your moral standard or something, you extort Nigerians or whatever, we remove you from the system. I am not going to be that kind of person that wants. You are protecting Nigerians. Your job is to protect Nigeria. Everything is going to change. You need people who, if Abacha can be in, when Abacha was in Nigeria, I know there's going to be a lot of manipulation. Abacha did not complete it. You're supposed to remove all this media. You have different people in it. Like, you are a citizen from God knows where. You don't, like, you are in Nigeria. Like, no, there are some embassies that will be closed. I promise you. All these talks that people have around, this deep state is here, that deep state is here. I don't see all this. I don't care. Like, you will leave first. We want to take care of the country. There is too much terrorists in this country. We need to take care of the country first. You can come back when I'm done. When we are done cleaning up Nigeria, then we will call you to come. And you can believe me, S300s and S400s are coming into the country. We have 36 states. At least we don't have at all. We have 15 of those. We have 15 of those capabilities. Whichever way or form we are going to be able to pay, we'll pay. So if you think you can cross Nigeria airspace to come and drop munitions for those jihadists, it will not be possible. So, but you have people that love to ride cars. That's what they care about. Cars. Are you serious? You want to drive cars? You want to say you have house in Baltimore, you have house in this and that. I've listened to some of these politicians before. Some of them are not even living well. They have different disease that they are not seeing. So the only way they can appeal to themselves is to make the life of Nigerians extremely difficult. So when I look, I see all this terror, I see all these things. I see, Nigerian troops getting attacked, and people think, you would think for the life of me, that all these bandits are stronger than the Nigerian military. It means that whoever has that kind of thinking does not understand. That individual does not understand what operation means. You don't. With the necessary capability and the necessary technology, in fact, you can take out 500 to 1,000 in Nigeria without having a single casualty. Nigeria have the economy to drop precision guided munitions on terrorists all day, all night, without flinching. They have the economy to sustain it. And you have somebody, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they are automatically invited. Who have collaborations. And Benin should be comfortable. Benin should become. We can protect. Look, Nigeria will become a real. See, look, I understand what I'm saying. I see this country completely. Just that there are too many criminals. A state governor, okay, a state governor, you are stealing for public funds. We take away your immunity. I know that when the Yaradua wanted to do that, to take away the immunity of the state governor so that they don't steal public funds. That was when something happened to him. So people said he had cancer. People said he had whatever. Look, that is why we must we must try to encourage our youths to be looking into the direction of geopolitics. It can't continue like this. It cannot continue like this. I'm a proud Nigerian and I'm a proud African person. Okay? I love my people. I don't want no harm to happen to any Nigerian or any African person. And that's why we do what we do. We just want our people to see the truth. No Nigerian deserves to be hated. Be you Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Efik, Ibibio, whatever you are special. And you have a lot to contribute to Nigeria. And we shouldn't look. I don't care if you see yourself as, we don't have to be from the same tribe. I don't have to forget. If you like, say Nigeria, say go with whatever idea. All we just want you to do is to contribute your mental capability to the development of the country. That's all. We don't need anything extra. Just contribute your quota of your like, when I look at Nigerians, what comes to my head is, what can you contribute to Nigeria today? If all the necessary capabilities are available, what can you contribute? Economically, what can you impute to the country? If all things are provided, there is energy, everything is available, what can you do? So that's how it's supposed to be. So now, the last information of today, we are hearing that Madagascar is in collaboration with France. Madagascar? Yeah. Michael Randrinarina of Madagascar has collaboration with both Russia and France. According to information, they said France is even responsible for more supply of military capabilities than Russia in Madagascar. Well, a lot of analysts argued that Colonel Michael Randrinarina is not trying to create an enemy for the Madagascan people. But the billion-dollar question is, how sovereign is Madagascar right now? How sovereign? How sovereign is Madagascar? That's a big question. And like I said, it doesn't matter. What people in Madagascar are doing, God bless them. We wish them peace and the best of luck. But that is not where we take our motivation from. That's not where we guide ourselves from. The Alliance of Sahel continue to do what they do. It was because the Alliance of Sahel, they dare to be great. That's why we have this day now in Madagascar. We have people now standing up in Africa. We talk more about sovereignty, talking about colonial reparation, and doing a lot of things. Okay. Colonel Michael Randrinarina can collaborate with France. Maybe, I don't know what type of pressure he has faced. I don't know. I don't know where the push is coming from. But my belief is that, their sovereignty has no price. There's no price for sovereignty. You are supposed to stand your ground. Yeah, nothing is going to happen to Madagascan people. It is you, Michael Randrinarina. You are the one that's responsible for everything. If anything have to happen to Madagascans, let it, at least that thing must go through you first. That's why you are the leader of those people. But, choosing to unite with France again, man, I don't know what I can say about that. Honestly, I don't know what I can say about that. And the countries that have seen the track record of France, and are still opening bilateral talk with them, only God knows what these leaders are eating, and only God knows how they wake up in the morning. So, I don't know what everybody's opinion is. I don't know. You can kindly give your opinion on what you think about the Madagascan president. And the funny thing is that a lot of these leaders in Africa, they need external validation to feel good, to feel better, to feel like they're president. They call it global recognition. They call it international recognition. But any president that know what they are doing, you don't need anybody to recognize you other than the people of your country to recognize that you are the president that they selected and you're serving the interests of the people of your country. That is all that matters. So imagine that a president of another country that is busy taking care of his or her citizen recognize you as a president. So what effect does that have? Possibly you will be able to do what? They recognize you as the president. What is that even supposed to mean? After your people have selected you, so you travel for what is the essence of that recognition? So that recognition means that they will throw $1 trillion into your economy. Is that what it means? Or they will continue to give you aids because they recognize you? All those things are meaningless. When I hear some things, I just wonder, like, what are these people doing? Every Nigerian president have to travel to UK to go and do what? I looked at Tinubu sitting with Keir Starmer. Like, what was that conversation about? What was that about? That kabuki theater right there. You sat beside Keir Starmer, you were talking about you need UK to help Nigeria, UK to come and help Nigeria. Are you serious? Anybody that knows the true capability of Nigeria knows that Nigeria does not need anybody's help. You don't need anybody's help. You only need the citizens to rally round. Rally round and let them understand that this is their home. This is where they belong. This is where they belong. And we must together build this country. Not for the UK to come and borrow you about 700 and something million pounds, 1.2 trillion on the trot. No, we will not. We will not borrow loan. We would not. But the problem that most countries have is that before the right people get there, the wrong people would have almost sold out the destiny of that country. That's what they will do. So when you tell them to leave and you want to rebuild, they put pressure because there is so much debt on ground. And those are not even debts. They are money that was looted by people like the current president. So this is the reality. Honestly, this is the reality. This is the reality. Same reality with Burkina Faso too. You know, most of the debts that Burkina Faso holds were, they were the bad debts that was created by Damiba and Rockman Kabore and Blaise Compaore. So I mean, every country should take geopolitics extremely serious. Extremely serious. And we have to mind our business. If we are really serious about any type of progress in Africa, we need to mind Africa's business. We need to support ourselves. But we're going there. We're getting there. We're getting there. More Africans are waking up. I was surprised. I was talking to a neighbor of mine who happens to be an LURTW chairman yesterday, and he was telling me that there are some group of people that are now questioning a lot of things that I cannot say right here. They are now questioning that how come this thing is like this. And if I can guarantee you that the fact that they are now questioning right now, it means that there is a new consciousness around. Africans are beginning to wake up, both the educated ones and the illiterate. But I don't believe that there are illiterates in any country. I just think people's capability needs to be utilized. Everybody cannot be good theoretically. Some people are gifted in different things. Some people, they can handle rifles properly. Some people don't miss targets. You have snipers. You have people people can be good in different things. And I think this is the strength of Nigeria that the Western world recognize. And that's why Nigeria is in the problem she has today. Nigeria has the population. Africa is great. They have the resources. They have every other thing. And when we talk about kicking out people that are repressing Nigeria, we're not only talking about the West. We are equally talking about the Chinese. Like, we have to first and foremost scatter everything first. Everybody give us space. Then we talk again. Will you come back and we renegotiate? If you think what the whole thing they did in Niger is even fair, trust me, someone like me, I will not even be fair at all. Wherever you want to take it to the International Criminal Court, take it to anywhere. A lot of people don't understand. You don't understand. You should be proud of Africa wherever you go to. Africa is worth being proud of. It's a great continent with great people, people with strong will. We need to wake up and understand who we are. You see, you see some countries even fighting for sovereignty, and they don't even have anything they should be fighting. They don't have anything to be fighting that they should be fighting for. Yet we are so blessed. But you see a lot of people undo issues of national security and sovereignty. They handle it with levity. No, it shouldn't be like that. We are great people. We have more to defend. I think some leaders are intentionally making sure they keep their citizens in the dark so that their citizens don't even understand what the country is about. And I think it's high time citizens realize. I think it's our responsibility now in the Android community. Wherever you're from, make sure you tell your people about your country. Let them know why they should be proud that that's where they came from, and let them know that that is that why they should fight for that place, for the interest of that place. We don't care about any other person's business. It's not our business. Whatever is going on in the Persian Gulf is the business of the GCCs. It's not our business. Our business is our land. And it is only if we understand how much God put us in his interest and made us a priority. God really prioritized black people. And that's why we are so blessed. This is where we are from. We don't need any square inch of any other person's land. Whatever complexion you want to be, black, blue, yellow, red, white, whatever you want to be, you can be. But we are proudly African. This is where we belong. Where we are free. Where our children, our brothers, our sisters can take whatever decision they want to take without anybody challenging them. And that is why we should love this land and we should fight for it. It's worth fighting for. And I hope a lot of people understand. Thank you and God bless you. I really want to appreciate everyone for coming. This was a fantastic live session. You know, the thing is, when we have fantastic streams, I do know that we have a fantastic stream. So this particular stream today, I think is a great one. Thank you and God bless you. See you on the next stream.